Okay, this time let us proceed to lesson 2, solving problems involving quadratic function. How to solve problems involving quadratic function. So in solving problems involving quadratic functions is the same way in solving word problems in mathematics that you have learned. In this lesson, you have to remember the following. First, quadratic function form, written in general form. So you can use f of x or y. Next, the x-intercept form of the quadratic function, which is y, or f of x is equal to a, times the quantity of x minus r, times the quantity of x minus s, where r and s are the zeros or the roots of the quadratic function. Also, the vertex form, f of x is equal to a times the square root of x minus h plus k. And the formula for h and k, h is equal to negative b over 2a, and k is 4ac minus b squared over 4a. And of course, the maximum point of the parabola. If a is less than 0, meaning a is negative, then the function has, or the parabola has the maximum point, meaning to say the parabola opens downward, and x is equal to h. And if a is greater than 0, meaning to say a is positive, the parabola has the minimum point, meaning the parabola opens upward. I will repeat. If a is less than 0, the parabola opens downward. If a is greater than 0, the parabola opens upward. And x is equal to h. Okay, let's have the first example. The sum of two numbers is 24. Find the maximum product and the two numbers. To solve word problems involving quadratic functions, okay, first, read the problem. Understand what is asked. The sum of two numbers is 24. The maximum product, find the maximum product and the two numbers. Next, decide what to do. So, let x be the first number. If the first number is x, and since the sum of those two numbers is 24, so therefore, the second number is 24 minus x. And f of x is the product of two numbers. So therefore, apply the appropriate method, which is forming the equation. F of x is equal to, f of x is the product of two numbers, which is equal to the first number times the second number. So x times the quantity of 24 minus x. Simplify, f of x is equal to x times 24 is 24x. Next, x times negative x is negative x squared. Or f of x is equal to negative x squared plus 24, written in general form. Next, since f of x is equal to negative x squared plus 24x is written in general form, so a is negative 1, and b is 24, and c is 0, since there is no constant term in the quadratic function. Next, why do we need to use the formula for k, which is negative 4, k is equal to 4ac minus b squared all over 4a, where the value of a is negative 1, the value of c is 0, the value of b is 24 over 4 times the value of a is negative 1. The maximum value of the function. I will repeat, the maximum value of the function is referring to the value of its k. So let us continue. Negative 24 squared is equal to, so square root of 24 is 576 times negative is negative, divided by negative 4. So negative divided by negative is positive. So the answer is 144. Thus the maximum product of the two numbers is 144. Let us rewrite the representation. X is the first number. The second number is 24 minus x. And this time, we have 144 as the maximum product of the two numbers. So therefore, the equation is the sum of the two numbers, which is x, and 24 minus x, is equal to the maximum product, which is 144. Multiply x by 24 is 24x. X times negative x is negative x squared is equal to 144, or negative x squared plus 24x is equal to 144. Rewrite into standard form. Negative x squared plus 24x minus 144 is equal to 0. And since the leading coefficient is negative, so we will multiply the entire equation by negative 1 to make the leading coefficient positive 1. So negative 1 times negative x squared is x squared. Negative 1 times 24x is negative 24x. Next, negative 1 times negative 144 is positive 144. Next, 0 times negative 1 is equal to 0. So, the resulting quadratic equation is x squared minus 24x plus 144 is equal to 0. So, we will solve the quadratic equation by factoring. Actually, you can use the quadratic formula by extracting the square root or by completing the square. But I will use factoring since the trinomial x squared minus 24x plus 144 is factorable. So the factors are x minus 12 and x minus 12 is equal to 0. Equate its factor to 0. X minus 12 is equal to 0. And the other one is also x minus 12 is equal to 0. Then by using addition property of equality, adding negative 12 to both sides of the equation to make negative 12, this one equal to 0, or isolate x, that would be x is equal to 12 and x is equal to 12. Therefore, 12 and 12 are the two numbers whose sum is 24 and whose product is the maximum. So the last step is to check or verify your answer. Are 12 and 12, the sum is 24, yes. And the product, which is 144, is the maximum product. Okay, second example, second and last example. A toy rocket is fired into the air from the top of a burn. Its height h above the ground in yards after t seconds is given by the function h of t is equal to negative 5t squared plus 10t plus 20. So the same procedure, read the problem and understand what is asked. Question, what was the initial height of the rocket? And when did the rocket reach its maximum height? Next is to decide what to do. So, identify the given, h for the height, t time in seconds, and the function is h of t is equal to negative 5t squared plus 10t plus 20. And this is the illustration. Y represents the height in yard, and this is the time in second. The first question, What is the initial height of the rocket? Since the function is h of t is equal to negative 5t squared plus 10t plus 20, we will substitute t time to 0. Why 0? The initial height of the rocket is the height which it was fired. Okay, so from 0. So the time is 0. So h of t is equal to negative 5. Replacement for t is 0. 0 squared plus 10 times 0, since t is equal to 0, plus 20. So square root of 0 is 0 times negative 5 is 0, plus 10 times 0 is 0. You still have 20. So h of t now is equal to 20 yards. So that is the height or the initial height of the rocket. Okay, next question. When did the rocket reach its maximum height? The time, t, which is equal to negative b over 2a. Why do we need to use negative b over 2a, which is the formula for h? The maximum height reached by an object is the value of a, of the function, while the time for an object to reach the maximum height is the value of h of the function. So, substitute the value of b is 10. That is the coefficient of the linear term in our quadratic function. And divide it by 2 times the value of a, which is negative 5. Negative 5t squared. So, the coefficient negative 5 is the value of a. So, the coefficient of the quadratic term. So, simplify, negative 10 divided by 2 times negative 5 is equal to positive 1. So, time is 1 second. So, it takes the toy rocket 1 second to reach its maximum height. So, remember, steps in solving word problems involving quadratic function. First, read the problem and understand what is asked. Second, decide what to do. Third, apply the appropriate method. Next, check or verify your result. So, let us proceed to some of the exercises. So, if you want to answer, you may write your answer in the comment section. Okay. Problem number 1, determine the quadratic function described by the table of values. Okay, so this is the table of values. The question is, actually this is multiple choice. Just choose the letter. Just write the letter of the correct answer in the comment section if you want to participate or if you want to answer. Is it letter A, letter B, letter C, or letter D? You are given 30 seconds to answer. Okay, so time's up. So try to check if your answer is correct or not. For those who will get the correct answer, very good. Okay, so the correct answer is letter A. So why letter A? Actually, using the steps in determining the quadratic function given the table is a long process. So, since there are choices, there are 4 quadratic functions given, how to determine which of those quadratic functions is the correct answer. So what will you do is to substitute these ordered pairs in the given quadratic functions. Okay, so replacement for x, we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. And for the value of y or f of x, 4, 3, 4, 7, 12. So let us verify the answer. For the first ordered pair, negative 2, 4, substitute the value of x and y in the equation. Okay, so 4 is equal to negative 2 squared plus 2 times negative 2 plus 4. Simplify. 4 is equal to 4 is true. Second ordered pair, negative 1, 3. Substitute in the quadratic function. 3 is equal to negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1 plus 4. Simplify. So 3 is equal to 3 is true. So it satisfies the given quadratic function. Third ordered pair, 0, 4. Substitute in the given quadratic function. So 4 is equal to 0 squared plus 2 times 0 plus 4. Simplify. 4 is equal to 4 is true. So it satisfies the given quadratic function. And the fourth ordered pair, 1 and 7, substitute in the given quadratic function. 7 is equal to 1 squared plus 2 times 1 plus 4. Simplify. So 7 is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 4. That is 7 is equal to 7 is true. And for the last pair, 2, 12. 12 is equal to 2 squared plus 2 times 2 plus 4. Simplify. 12 is equal to 12 is true. So meaning to say, the answer, which is letter A, is correct. So very good for those who got the correct answer. Okay, let us proceed to number 2. Find the equation of the parabola whose vertex is 2, 5, and passing through the point 1, 3. Is it letter A, letter B, letter C, or letter D? Since the vertex is at 2, 5, so meaning the value of H is 2 and the value of A is 5. And as you have noticed, all the quadratic functions or choices are written in vertex form. So just look for the value of H, which is 2, and for the value of K, which is 5. So the value of K of letter C and D are both positive 5. And what about the value of H? Positive 2. So which is the correct quadratic function? Is it letter C or letter D? Of course, be sure the value of H is positive 2. Okay, 15 seconds. Kasi madali lang naman to. If you want to write, if you want to answer, just answer 2, then write 2A, 2B, 2C, or 2D. So for question number 2, then the letter of the correct answer. Is it 2A, 2B, 2C, or 2D? Okay, I think time is up. Okay, so what is the correct answer? Okay, the correct answer is letter D. So, the value of H is the opposite of this, positive 2. Okay, and the value of K is positive 5. Let us verify the result. There is a condition passing through the point 1, 3. So, the vertex is at 2, 5, where H is 2, K is 5. Passing through the point 1, 3, where X is 1, and Y is 3. Substitute quadratic function f of x is equal to negative 2 times the square root of x minus 2 plus 5. Replacement for f of x or y is 3. This one. Negative 2 times the square root of x, which is negative, positive 1, minus 2, plus 5. Simplify. So, x is equal to, y is equal to 3. X is equal to 1. Okay? Next, simplify. 3 is equal to negative 2 times the square root of negative 1 plus 5. The square root of negative 1 is positive 1 times negative 2. So, that is equal to negative 2 plus 5. So, 3 is equal to 3 is true. So, therefore, the correct answer is letter D. So, very good for those who got the correct answer. Okay, third problem. Determine the equation of the parabola whose vertex is negative 2, 8, and passing through the origin. Is it letter A, letter B, letter C, or letter D? So again, the vertex is the vertex is at negative 2, 8. Since all the choices are written in vertex form, so just look for the value of h, which is negative 2, and value of k, positive 8. So, all the quadratic functions has or have positive, so letter A, letter B, and letter C are quadratic functions written in vertex form whose value of h or value of k rather is equal to positive 8. What about the value of h? The value of h must be negative 2. So, which of these quadratic functions has negative 2 as the value of h? Okay, is it letter A, letter B, or letter C? So, you're given 15 seconds to answer. Just write 3A, 3B, 3C, or 3D. So, 3 for question number 3. Then choices A, B, C, or D. Okay, so time's up. So the correct answer is letter. Is it letter? Actually, there are two possible answers whose value of h is negative 2. So letter A, since the constant term of the binomial squared is positive 2, so the opposite of this is negative 2, which is equal to the value of h. And also letter C. So, is it letter A or letter C? So, how to determine? There is a condition. The vertex or the parabola passes through the origin. As we all know, the coordinates of the origin is at 0, 0, or 0, 0 are the coordinates of the origin. So, we will substitute the value of x is 0 and the value of y is 0 in the first quadratic function. So substitute the value of x and y, simplify. So 0 is equal to 4 plus 8 and 0 is equal to 12 is false. For the second quadratic function or letter C, substitute the value of x and y in the quadratic function. Simplify. So 0 is equal to negative 8 plus 8. 0 is equal to 0 is true. So therefore, the correct answer is letter C. So, very good for those who got the correct answer. Okay, let us proceed to question number 4. Find the quadratic function whose zeros are negative 3 and 2. Is it letter A, letter B, letter C, or letter D? So you can use the formula negative B over A for the sum of the roots and C over A for the product of the roots. So you are given 15 seconds. 15 seconds to answer. So just type in your answer in the comment for A, for B, for C, or for D. So time's up. So the correct answer is, what do you think is the correct answer? Letter A, letter B, or letter A, letter B, letter C, or letter D? So before the answer, let us try to solve. So let x be equal to negative 3. That is the first 0. And the second 0 is positive 2. So we will solve, or we will work backward. So x plus 3 is equal to 0. Equate to 0. And x minus 2 is equal to 0. Write as factors, x plus 3 times x minus 2. So x plus 3, first factor, second factor, x minus 2 is equal to 0. Use the FOIL method. X times x, x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. 3 times x is positive 3x. And 3 times negative 2 is negative 6 is equal to 0. Simplify. X squared plus 6 minus 6. X squared plus x minus 6 is equal to 0. Can be written as f of x is equal to x squared plus x minus 6. So the correct answer is letter B. So very good for those who got the correct answer. Okay, let us proceed to the last question. From a 96-foot building, an object is thrown straight up into the air, then follows a trajectory. The height S of t of the ball above the building after t seconds is given by the function S of t is equal to 80t minus 16t squared. Find the maximum height of the ball reaches. Is it letter A, 75 feet, B, 80 feet, C, 95 feet, or D, 100 feet? Okay, 1 minute. You are given 1 minute to answer. You can type in your answer in the comment. Just write 5A, 5B, 5C, or 5D. Okay, you are given 1 minute or 30 seconds. Okay, time's up. Okay, the correct answer is letter D, 100 feet. Congratulations for those who got the correct answer. Okay, let us verify the answer. The maximum height reached by the object is the ordinate or the y-coordinate of the vertex of the parabola of the function, or what we call the value of k. That is the ordinate of the vertex. So, S of t is equal to 80t minus 16t squared. So, meaning to say, you can determine the value of k. Or using the function S of t is equal to 80t minus 16t squared, you can transform this to vertex form to determine the value of k. So, by using completing the square. So, rewriting the quadratic function to general form, we have S of t is equal to negative 16t squared plus 80t. Then, factor out negative 16. Then, multiply negative 16t squared and 80t to negative 16. So, negative 16t squared divided by 16, negative 16 is positive t squared. And positive 80t divided by negative 16 is negative 5t. Next step is to add a number to this expression inside the parentheses to make it a perfect square trinomial. So, we will transform the quadratic function into vertex form by using completing the square. So, how to determine the number added to this to make it a perfect square trinomial? Coefficient of the linear term, negative 5 divided by 2, then squared the result. So, that is negative 5 over 2 squared. That is 25 over 4. So, 25 over 4 times negative 16 is equal to what do you think before I will continue? So, we add 25 over 4 to this expression to make it a perfect square trinomial. The reason why, for us to transform this into a binomial squared. So, negative 16 times positive 25 over 4, simplify, the answer is negative. The answer is negative 100. So, we will add positive 100. Okay, that is the rule. Using completing the square. So, let us continue. S of t is equal to negative 16. T squared minus 5t plus 25 over 4. Expressed as a binomial squared. By getting the square root of the first term, square root ng t squared is t. Copy the sign of the middle term, square root of 25 over 4 is 5 over 2. Then write squared. Plus 20. So, the function now is already written in vertex form. So, therefore, the value of k is 100. So, therefore, the answer, letter D, 100 feet is correct. Or, you can also use so this is the vertex of the function. 5 over 2 and 100. So, 100 is the value of t. So, that is the correct answer. Or, you can use the function S of t is equal to 80t minus 16t squared. Identify the value of A, negative 16, B is 80, and C is equal to 0 since there is no constant term in the quadratic function. So, using the formula for K, 4 times A times C minus B squared all over 4A. So, by direct substitution, so D is equal to 100. Letter D, 100 feet. Very good for those who got the correct answer. For your assignment, answer the activities in Module 4, Math 9, Quarter 1, Week 9. And send completed output through our Google Classroom. Our learning resources, textbook, page 156 to 189. Self-learning module, quarter 1, week 9. Video lesson from YouTube and DepEd TV E2 Live. So, thank you for your participation. Thank you for attending. Have a nice day.